If you're looking to buy a home in Silicon Valley, Palo Alto and Cupertino are probably at the top of your list. Both cities boast world-class schools and deep connections to the tech industry. But here's the thing most real estate agents won't tell you. These places just 13 miles apart feel like completely different worlds when you actually live there. It's not about which city ranks higher, it's about which one fits your lifestyle better. I'm Spencer Su, and after helping over 60 families buy and sell homes in Silicon Valley last year alone, I've seen firsthand exactly what makes these neighboring cities so different. Let me walk you through what you need to know before making this multi-million-dollar decision. First, let's talk about the community vibe. The moment you step into Palo Alto versus Cupertino, you're going to feel a completely different energy, and this shapes everything about your daily life and where you may want to be. Looking at the 2025 data, Palo Alto has roughly 65,000 people with a median age of 42.5 years. The city has this distinctive blend of academic influence and tech innovation. You feel it immediately. That mix of professors, entrepreneurs, people working in these tech sectors, and longtime residents create something unique and magical. Meanwhile, in Cupertino, you have 56,000 residents with a slightly younger median age of 41.3. The tech industry presence, especially Apple, dominates the city's identity. It's got a completely different energy. A lot more corporate tech, a lot more Apple buildings, less academic. Now, these aren't just stats. They dramatically change your daily experience. When you walk around downtown Palo Alto, you'll notice University Avenue has this intellectual, slightly bohemian energy mixed with serious tech money. You got the restaurants, shops, coffee houses. They all reflect this interesting mashup of academia meets innovation. Now, of course, a big reason for this is because of Stanford University's presence, which we're going to talk about when we get to these educational opportunities and local employers. While over in Cupertino, the community has its own distinct character. The restaurants, the grocery stores, the retail spots, a lot more Asian cuisine, have a different vibe. More suburban tech professional, less eclectic. Main Street, Cupertino, and the developing Valco area, which has been going on for a long time, have their own energy that's totally different from University Avenue. The crazy thing is, despite how different they feel, both cities share that Silicon Valley affluence. They both have very low poverty rates, with Cupertino at approximately 4.3 and Palo Alto estimated to be slightly lower, though these exact recent figures are going to always vary by source. Whichever you pick though, you're going to get a well-resourced community with amazing amenities. Bottom line, the community character shapes everything: where you'll eat, what events you'll attend, who your neighbors are likely to be, and I see it every day showing homes in these areas. Some people walk into Palo Alto and immediately connect with that academically meets tech vibe, while others feel much more at home in Cupertino's tech-focused, more suburbia type of atmosphere. And as we're going to explore momentarily, we'll discuss housing next, because these community differences directly impact what kind of home your money buys in each of these cities. Now let's get to what most people care about first: how far your money actually goes in these premium markets. These community differences we just talked about, they directly affect the type of home you're going to get for your money. Now, both cities are going to be considered some of the highest in the Bay Area and across the entire country, but there are huge differences in what your dollars can buy. Palo Alto's median household income sits at $220,000, while Cupertino actually edges a little bit higher at $231,000. This is not a real difference of income gap, because most of the time a lot of these people are making a lot of their money not on the income side of things, but also on stock options. So when it comes to housing though, the style, age, and types of homes, you will feel different between the two. If you think about places around Stanford or downtown Palo Alto, a lot of those homes are going to be a lot more historic, with many homes maybe even 1920s. You got like some craftsman bungalows and mid-century gems, even gorgeous Victorians in neighborhoods like Professorville. If you go on to the Cupertino side, night and day difference. Cupertino homes are typically newer builds from the 60s through 90s. The neighborhoods feel more uniform and planned, where you're getting way more house for your money. But here's what most buyers don't discover until they're knee-deep in the house hunting process. A little tip: many parts of the east parts of Palo Alto sit in flood zones. I've had a lot of clients completely shocked when they suddenly need to factor in mandatory flood insurance, and it also impacts how they would remodel, or if they were ever going to tear down their house to build a new one. That's why you see a lot of the new construction homes, they have higher elevation for that reason. Now, Cupertino has a totally different flood risk. Not really any risk there at all. Now, here's something else that shocks most of my clients when we tour both cities. At the same price point, you will get roughly about 10% more square feet in Cupertino than in Palo Alto. Pretty big difference when you're about to spend $3-4 million already. Because in Palo Alto, you're going to be paying a premium for location, prestige, and that hard to define Palo Alto lifestyle. In Cupertino, your money gets you more physical house, bigger square feet, newer construction, potentially often larger lot sizes. So to give you like a glimpse, let's say a $3 million house in Palo Alto, you get something that's probably about 1553 square feet, while in Cupertino, you may get something around 1800 square feet. Now, what's the main real difference between the two? Palo Alto will typically have more walkable streets. The other thing to be mindful is that Palo Alto does have a unique financial advantage. It runs its own utilities, so you got gas, electric, water, sewage, all managed by the city, which typically will get you better rates than when you pay to third-party providers like PG&E, which will be most of the Bay Area. So homeowners here will see a lower utility bill compared to other other cities in the Bay. In terms of property tax, both cities carry the standard Santa Clara County property tax, so you have a blended of around 1.25%. There's no real special difference between the two. Now, before we jump into how these different economic engines drive each city, I'm curious, are you team Palo Alto so far with its historic character and walkable downtown? Or are you team Cupertino with those spacious homes, family-friendly neighborhoods, a lot more Asian cuisine? Drop a comment below and let me know what you like about the two and if you ever considered living in both of them. And if you're finding this breakdown helpful, hit that subscribe button. I post new Silicon Valley neighborhood comparisons every week to help you find your perfect match in this housing market. Now let's look at what's really powering these housing differences, the completely different economic landscapes of these cities, which shape everything from job opportunities to daily commutes. The economic engines powering these two cities couldn't be more different, and it affects everything from rush hour patterns to who you'll bump into at the local coffee shops. Palo Alto literally earned its nickname as the birthplace of Silicon Valley, as the city hosts nearly 100,000 jobs. That's more than 1.5 jobs for every resident. The daytime population explodes as workers pour in from all over the Bay, as the job landscape there is super diverse. You got Stanford University employing thousands of people and creating an academic influence you're gonna feel everywhere. There's also the Stanford Hospital, which is a huge employer for lots of high-paying nurses and doctors. Many tech headquarters include Tesla, VMware, and HP. You've also got offices for like SAP, Amazon in East Palo Alto, and countless startups at every stage from garage to unicorn. Want to know a little known fact? Palo Alto has the highest concentration of VC firms per square mile anywhere in the world, creating a funding ecosystem that you won't find anywhere, not even in Cupertino. Now, what makes Palo Alto's economy special is that pipeline of innovation flowing from Stanford. The university business relationships creates this entrepreneurial buzz you can practically feel in the air. Grab coffee downtown and I guarantee you're gonna be overhearing conversations about startup funding, research breakthroughs, or the next hot companies that you may want to join. Now you cross over to Cupertino and the economic story completely flips, because this city is basically Apple Incorporated. The massive spaceship Apple Park campus dominates not just physically but shapes the entire economic ecosystem. Thousands of employees there have transformed Cupertino's identity. While Apple is that massive 800-pound gorilla, Cupertino still does host other tech companies that especially support Apple's ecosystem. But there's no question, the city is completely betting on Apple's success to have a chance for the future. Now because of this, these economic differences do create totally different professional environments. Now because of the dominance of the employers, the startup scene will reflect this too. Both cities will have new companies launching, but Palo Alto, because it has way more venture capital money, incubators, and early stage startups, you're gonna have a lot more of those opportunities and a lot more recruiting of those people. While Cupertino will be more focused on established tech companies and, as I mentioned, these suppliers in that Apple ecosystem. So understanding these economic drivers, especially depending on your career, will make it really important as to which areas you may want to be at. Now, because of these job differences, it will lead to another critical factor which will impact your daily experience, how you'll ultimately get around. Now, here's something that makes a really big difference in your daily quality of life, but most buyers will completely overlook that. Transportation options. How you get around these cities will be completely different, and it directly impacts your everyday experience. How you get around is probably the most underrated factor when picking between these two cities. Your daily transportation experience changes dramatically depending on which one of these you choose. For example, Palo Alto absolutely crushes it with public transit options. You got the Palo Alto Caltrain station, which is a major hub with trains running to San Francisco or San Jose, including express trains that make the trip super quick. You got VTA buses connect to key spots, and tons of company shuttle pickup near the transit center to ferry workers to campuses all around Silicon Valley. But what really sets Palo Alto apart is how bike friendly it is. The city has poured money into bike lanes, trails, and paths that make cycling a very easy way to get around. I know a lot of homeowners there who barely touch their cars because they can safely just bike pretty much everywhere. You even see kids biking to schools, which is an amazing sight to see. If you like trails, the Bay Trail Connection gives you gorgeous recreational cycling too. And we'll see in the lifestyle section coming up, these transportation options directly enhance the quality and variety of recreational opportunities in Palo Alto. But here's a mind-blowing stat. The average Palo Alto resident spends about 45 minutes less in traffic each day compared to the typical Cupertino resident. That's nearly 4 hours of your life back every single week. Now, the cool part about the lifestyle Palo Alto is that you also have two distinct walkable business districts. You have University Avenue downtown and the California Avenue area. Both have shops, restaurants, and services within easy walking distance. It's rare to find these walkable urban pockets in suburban Silicon Valley. But if you switch to Cupertino, the transportation picture is completely different. While you have easy highway access, you're a lot more south. And so because you're a lot more south, you're going to be going through a lot more traffic to get into these major job clusters of a Palo Alto, Mountain View, and Sunnyvale. There's also no Caltrain stations in the area, so people have to drive out walk from Cupertino into the nearest Caltrain station, which will probably be around Sunnyvale or so. Because of that, here's a real insider tip that most real estate agents won't tell you. If you live within the walking distance of Palo Alto's Caltrain station or downtown, you can actually save a good amount of money because you don't need a car. When you run the numbers, the premium you pay for that central Palo Alto location may be offset if you don't have to spend tens of thousands of dollars on a car and also pay for insurance accordingly. And it's also a pretty comfortable lifestyle if you can just take the public transit. Professionals working in like San Francisco or Stanford, living in Palo Alto might mean maintaining a one-car household instead of two, when one person can simply walk or bike to work while another takes Caltrain. The savings on car payments, insurance, maintenance, all of these can be greatly improved. Now, later when we discuss governance, you're going to see how this approach to transportation aligns with Palo Alto's overall investment in self-sufficiency and infrastructure, as both cities offer good access to airports, with San Jose International Airport just 15 to 20 minutes away and SFO roughly 35 to 45 minutes away depending on traffic. But your day-to-day experience, whether you're a car dependent or have multiple options, will be totally different. Your commute patterns and how you prefer to move around should heavily influence which city you pick. But for most families relocating to Silicon Valley, there's another factor that often tops the priority list, which is always about schools. Let's see how these educational powerhouses compare. Schools are the make or break factor in choosing between these cities. The good news is both Palo Alto and Cupertino have incredible educational systems, but with surprisingly different approaches and strengths. Palo Alto Unified School District consistently ranks among California's best public systems. The district has 12 elementary schools, 3 middle schools, and 2 high schools. You got Palo Alto High and Gunn High School. Both high schools send tons of graduates to these elite universities and offer top-notch academics, arts, and athletics. Did you know that Palo Alto schools have produced more Rhodes Scholar per capita than any other public school district in America? The Stanford connection isn't just a proximity, it's actually a pipeline. The university creates this academic atmosphere that permeates everything. Kids grow up with access to university museums, performances, sports events, and enrichment programs. Many of these teachers and administrators have Stanford ties, bringing innovative approaches to local schools. You'll see this university influence again when we discuss the lifestyle and amenities that make Palo Alto unique. Now, Palo Alto schools also benefit from crazy good funding though, both from district resources and the partners in education, which raises millions of dollars every year to fund programs beyond what normal public schools can compete and offer with. Now, Cupertino is not far behind. They also present an equally impressive but different educational landscape. Most of the cities served by Cupertino Union School District for elementary and middle school, and Fremont Union High School District for the high schools, like Cupertino High, Homestead, Monte Vista. That's going to be serving the Cupertino residents depending on your exact location. Cupertino schools are famous though for their rigorous STEM education. The tech-focused community places enormous value on mathematical and scientific excellence. Students regularly crush national competition, and the schools have incredible depth in technical subjects. Families relocate from across the country specifically for these school systems itself. Now, the choice will ultimately come down potentially to educational philosophy. Palo Alto schools offer a well-rounded approach balancing humanities, arts, and sciences, while Cupertino schools are known particularly for their math programs and competitive academic environments. Both cities also have excellent private options, where Palo Alto has several prestigious private schools, including Castilleja, Key School, and Stratford, while Cupertino area private schools will include Harker, St. Stephen's, and many others. Now, one crucial thing that catches many homebuyers off guard is the school assignment will typically depend on your specific address, not just the city. You absolutely need to verify exactly which schools serve a particular property before buying, as the boundaries can simply cut through streets in different ways. Nevertheless, the bottom line, you're not going to go wrong from either of them. Both cities will offer amazing educational opportunities, but the approach and emphasis may differ. Your child's specific needs and learning style should guide which system might be a better fit. Beyond schools and work though, your everyday lifestyle and weekend activities will be shaped by the amenities and recreational opportunities in each city. Let's explore these differences next. Education and jobs are crucial, but what about your free time? The weekend and evening lifestyle in these cities couldn't be more different. Let's look at how you'll actually spend your days off and leisure time in each community. How you spend your free time in these cities reveals the biggest differences in daily life. Your perfect match depends entirely on the lifestyle you are after. Palo Alto offers a more urban, dynamic vibe with 2 distinct commercial areas. You got University Avenue downtown, which has this vibrant mix of restaurants, shops, and services all within walking distance, as you'll find everything from high-end dining to casual cafes, boutique shopping, and cultural spots. The California Avenue district gives you a smaller but equally charming commercial zone with its own farmers market and neighborhood feel. The city itself has 36 parks, 39 playgrounds, and 41 miles of walking and biking trails. You got standout spaces include the Baylands Nature Preserve with 1,940 acres of marshland trails and foothills park with spectacular hiking. The Palo Alto Art Center and Junior Museum and Zoo provide cultural and educational activities. All of these amenities connect directly to the transportation infrastructure we discussed earlier. So you got the bike trails and walkable areas creating this cohesive lifestyle that reduces that need for car dependence. Here's what many buyers don't realize though. The average Palo Alto resident spends about 40% more times outdoors than Cupertino residents according to local surveys. The accessibility of trails and paths makes a huge difference in how people use a city. Just even think about how massive and beautiful Stanford University is. It adds another dimension to Palo Alto's lifestyles. You got collegiate sports, the art center, performances. It's this unique blend of a small city charm with cultural amenities typically found in only bigger metros. Cupertino offers a different but equally great lifestyle though, focused more on family activities and neighborhood connections. The crown jewel is Memorial Park, which is a 28-acre facility with amphitheater, softball fields, tennis courts, picnic areas, and playgrounds. Stevens Creek Corridor has beautiful nature trails, while Blackberry Farm Golf Course and Recreation gives you even more outdoor options. Shopping in Cupertino revolves around several commercial districts, including Valco, which is currently being redeveloped, Main Street Cupertino, and you got various neighborhood centers with a lot of great grocery stores. While these areas are not as dense and centralized as Palo Alto's downtown, there are plenty of retail and dining options throughout the city. What's fascinating though is how these differences shape social patterns. In Palo Alto, social life often happens in public spaces like cafes, parks, downtown spots. You can run into neighbors shopping on University Avenue or at community events. In Cupertino, home is more frequently the center of social life with larger houses and yards designed for hosting. You get community connections formed through schools, organizations, and neighborhood groups rather than these random downtown encounters. Now, when showing homes in these areas, these lifestyle differences jump out immediately in Palo Alto. Homeowners always talk about that wonderful, spontaneous social interactions while grabbing coffee downtown or hitting the farmer's market. Now, Cupertino residents often mentioning loving their indoor and outdoor private space for family gatherings, even if they drive more to reach amenities. You got community events that reflect these differences too. Palo Alto has the May Fete Parade, chili cook-off, art festivals, and summer concerts. Cupertino hosts various festivals, outdoor movie nights, and Earth Day celebrations. Both cities have packed community calendars, but the event's nature and scale does reflect their distinct characters. Your preferences between these lifestyles often really comes down to personality. Some people thrive on Palo Alto's energy and spontaneity, while others prefer Cupertino's more spacious, home-centered community feel. So after looking at all these factors, you got community, housing, economy, transportation, schools, lifestyle. Which city comes out on top for you? Was it the same as before? After comparing all these factors, there's not going to be a one-size-fits-all answer, as it's all going to be about which lifestyle better matches your priorities. Palo Alto is perfect if you value walkability, historic charm, Stanford's influence, diverse employers, a more urban, spontaneous social scene. Those city-run utilities don't hurt your monthly bills either. Cupertino shines for those wanting newer, larger homes, top STEM-focused schools, Apple-centric careers, and a family-oriented lifestyle where your spacious home becomes the center of your social world. Both will deliver exceptional quality of life. Your choice simply depends on your personal preferences and needs. So if you're deciding between these communities or considering other Silicon Valley cities, let's talk. I provide personalized consultation to help find your perfect match. Just contact me at hello@spencersu.com or call the number on your screen. If you found this comparison helpful, check out this next video comparing another two iconic cities in the valley, which is between Sunnyvale versus Mountain View. Thanks for watching. See you next time.